Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Talk Shop Show. Today, as usual, we have a very, very special guest. We have Malcolm Stoffman from the Mortgage Guy, Malcolm the Mortgage Guy. I'm here as well with Erica Aguilar, the Senior VP of Complete CU Services.
Thank you very much. My name is Erica Aguilar. I am delighted to be here with Malcolm Stoffman, the Mortgage Guy.
Because young people who have just, like if you're worried about being pre-qualified, right? If you're worried about a pre-approval for a property, in today's market, you're not winning that property, because somebody's going to come in with a higher cash offer. That's what's happening right now. And it is really, really difficult. It was really difficult 18 months ago. It is really, really difficult for young families right now. Like, to the point where, to me, it's discouraging. To me, I look at my kids who are 15 and 17 and think, how in the world are they ever going to get into their own property to go to bank of mom and dad, right? Like, sometimes, if somebody calls me up and says, my dad's willing to co-sign or my mom's willing to co-sign, okay, so be it. That might be how you have to get into the market. But I'm never suggesting to somebody that you go to your mom or your dad. But unfortunately, right now, in many cases, you need the additional signer and the additional income to support your purchase.
Or you can sell your F-150.
Or you can sell your F-150, but if you bought a new F-150 and you sell it a year later, you've already lost 35% of the value on it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense either, right? It's a really, really tough time.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that we're talking about who are the buyers. It's obviously it's like, I call it a tsunami, right? Starts in Toronto, the market goes up so high, and
tsunami, like you described, has sort of moved all the way out, and who knows? The other thing, and I think this is to some extent pandemic driven. The other thing that you're seeing is people who have flexibility in terms of where they work are all of a sudden saying, I'm going to cash out of Toronto or Milton or Oakville or Hamilton or Burlington or Kitchener or wherever you happen to be, and moving elsewhere, right? Because now we know we can work from home. And if if your employer is going to allow you to work from home, well, why not move to
you're absolutely
wherever,
right? Wherever. There's no transit traffic going to Toronto anymore, where it used to take you 3 hours to get in from Hamilton. On some days, and now the GO trains are empty and everybody. So there might be a slight adjustment for Toronto, because really there's no reason to go there. I mean, if you can get the same services anywhere anyway, it's becoming less attractive. Perhaps I don't wish that on Toronto, but it doesn't seem
something. I've got dear friends who did exactly that, right? He was a stay-at-home dad and did some investing and some house flipping type work, and she is an executive at a big company. And she was told, like, day one, you never need to come back to the office. You can work from home, and when you need to come, and if you don't need to be here, do your work from home. And so they sold their house in Milton that they had bought, I don't know, like 15 years ago or whatever it was, in Milton. And, they bought in one of those new subdivisions before it was even built. They had already made good money on it at that time. And then the pandemic hits, and they're like, well, if we don't need to be here, her mother lives up in Cornwall, like her family's up in Cornwall. So why do they need to be in Milton? Pack it in. Now they're living mortgage free on a huge property in Milton. It's like their dream, or not in Milton, sorry, in Cornwall, dream home. And they're loving it, right? So from a lifestyle perspective, you can see how somebody might make a change like that. And they did it right away. They made that call right away and cashed out. And like I said,
they're loving it with the mother-in-law. Close to the close to the mother-in-law. They're loving.
That's right, close to the mother-in-law, but they've got a young kid, so it's nice to have, it's nice to have grandma around, right?
That is good. That is good. I like that. Well, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate your time, Malcolm. You're a fantastic speaker. I always enjoy and have a lot of fun speaking with you for all that great knowledge that you have. So come and join us next week. And on Thursdays, we post this every Thursday on most of our social media platforms.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. It was a pleasure to have you here. A lot of experience that you have, that's for sure. And we really appreciate you sharing with us and all the viewers. Anybody who will like to have more information on what he does, what he can do for you, don't forget he can share his information on the comments, or now you can please share with everyone as well, Malcolm, who is watching, your phone number, the radio station where you are participating, as well as your website. I believe that those are the 3 areas where we can find you. Is that right?
Absolutely, and thank you guys so much for having me. I love nothing more than listening to myself talk. Sorry. No, thanks a lot, guys. I really do appreciate the opportunity to join you guys today. That said, if people do want to get in touch with me, you can find me at malcolmthemortgageguy.ca. You can find me on Facebook or Google, also Malcolm the Mortgage Guy. Tune into Y108 during the Brian West show. So that's classic rock here in Hamilton, Y108. Or you can always call me at 905-517-4228 or text for that matter.